Coming up on Jackson State News Now, shootings on or near college campuses.
And students stand together at Missouri and leadership listens. The details are next on the Tuesday edition of Jackson State News Now. Hello everyone, I'm Jordan Darensburg.
And I'm Kendra Brown. Thank you for joining us.
In the last several days, there have been 3 shootings on or near college campuses across the nation.
We'll start on the East Coast within South Carolina. Authorities say one person is dead and another in custody after an officer-involved shooting on South Carolina's Spartansburg Methodist College campus on Monday night. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, or SLED, says an officer responded to a report of a car break-in. Upon arrival, the officer encountered 2 people in a vehicle and attempted to detain them. The officer fired after reporting being struck by the fleeing vehicle, according to SLED. The officer is expected to be okay. Spartansburg Methodist put the college on lockdown, telling students to stay in the residence halls until they are told differently.
In suburban Atlanta, police are investigating a shooting near the campus of Clayton State University in Georgia. Police confirmed the shooting happened at the Clayton Station Apartments shortly after 8 p.m. In a statement from the university, they say the victim has serious injuries and is not a student.
A shopping mall near Detroit was put on lockdown Monday afternoon after gunshots rang out. Police say shots were fired near Diamond Jewelers after the Fairline Mall in Dearborn after 2 people got into an argument. No one was hurt. Police say it was a dispute between 2 people who knew each other. No arrests have been made. A nearby community college also canceled evening classes.
In other major campus news, the minority student protest at the University of Missouri took a lot of twists and turns.
The president has resigned, but students are still expected to see policy change. Reporter Andrew Spitzer has more.
In the name of Jesus! In the name of Jesus! In the name of Jesus!
Students gathered at the University of Missouri this weekend to highlight complaints of racism on the overwhelmingly white campus. The move comes after graduate student Jonathan Butler started a hunger strike last week. He accuses the university's leadership of not doing enough to address racism on campus and push Mizzou in a positive direction.
So I'm in this because it's that serious. We're dealing with humanity here. And at this point, we can't afford to continue to work with individuals who just don't care for their constituents.
Missouri's chancellor also resigned. He says he will transition into a new role advancing research in January.
If picking up fast food is on your lunch plans today, you could run into an issue. Today, fast food workers across the nation plan to walk off the job. Workers in nearly 300 cities are expected to stage protests at numerous restaurants. The group representing the workers, Fight for 15, is pushing for the federal minimum wage to be increased to $15 an hour. It is launching a campaign to encourage people to vote next year for candidates who support such a wage.
Starbucks is going to offer free tuition to the spouse or child of its veterans or active duty reservists. The coffee company already offers free tuition for all its employees who work at least 20 hours a week as a partnership with Arizona State University. And now, current or former military members can also use that for a spouse or child. Starbucks also announced it has hired more than 5,500 veterans and military spouses, which is more than half its goal of hiring 10,000 by 2018. Still to come on Jackson State News Now, we'll have a look at the weather forecast.
And good news for Chipotle fans in the Pacific Northwest.
And stay tuned for some UFO-like objects that has South Africans keeping their eyes on the skies. You're watching Jackson State News Now.
Welcome back to Jackson State News Now. Chipotle restaurants in Washington State closed by the E. coli outbreak could reopen as early as Wednesday.
This after health officials say samples tested negative for E. coli. An outbreak has sickened dozens in Washington State and Oregon. Rob Munoz has more.
State health officials told us they tested thousands of samples after an outbreak of E. coli linked to Chipotle sickened 43 people in the Northwest.
Of all those initial lab tests that we sent in from multiple counties in Washington State, all those samples came back negative for E. coli.
Health officials suspect the produce to blame, but said further testing shows the offending product is no longer in the supply chain.
Chipotle has done quite a bit of testing. They talked to us today about 900 samples they had done in their stores that were all negative.
The news means dozens of Chipotle locations could reopen by Wednesday at the earliest, but the state has set forth strict requirements, several of which the chain has already started. The company released a statement today saying, "We offer our deepest sympathies to those who have been affected by the situation and will continue to cooperate with health authorities as they look to conclude the investigation."
Just ahead on Jackson State News Now, I'll have a look at your complete forecast.
And in Technology Tuesday, Chinese singles use technology for shopping puts Americans' Black Friday to shopping shame.
Later in sports, the Cowboys faced off against the Eagles, and this one went into overtime. The highlights are still to come. Stay with us.
Take a look at this cool cloud formation over South Africa. It had folks around the globe buzzing. Monica Jackson shot this image in Cape Town Sunday. She described the cloud as being a UFO-like, but they have nothing to do with space aliens. They are actually a weather phenomenon called lenticular clouds. They are formed when air flowing along the surface of the Earth reaches an obstruction like a mountain or valley, but only if the temperatures in air are just right. Several reports of UFO sightings throughout history have been linked to a disc-like cloud. Time for weather. Jordan Darensburg has your forecast. No UFOs in our weather forecast, right, Jordan?
Exactly. There are no UFOs in our forecast. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? Well, there aren't going to be any UFOs, but we are going to have temperatures in the mid-50s throughout much of the region. We did have that light rain, patchy fog during the morning that has since burned off and has since gone off into a sunny sky for the afternoon. And that'll be mainly the case tomorrow. But tomorrow night, for the fellas who were invited to that event hosted by Sigma Gamma Rho, it will be kind of a wet one. And also, but after that, we won't have that much rain at all for the rest of the 5-day forecast. In fact, it'll mainly be mostly sunny and dry. However, the lows on Saturday will get down to near 40 degrees throughout much of the region. Tonight, the temperatures are only going to be in the 50s. It won't be that cool. However, later in the week, it will get cooler. Tomorrow, the temperatures will get up into the upper 70s throughout much of the region. And speaking of tomorrow evening's rain, there is even a little bit of a severe threat, but it's mainly contained to the delta. Nothing really severe we have to worry about here, just some patchy shower or maybe even a storm in the area. Back to you, Kendra.
Jordan. In Technology Tuesday, in China, November 11th is known as Singles Day. It was originally an anti-Valentine's Day where singles treated themselves to something nice, but in the last few years, it has become the biggest online shopping day of the year. Last year, CNN's Sting Jingyang takes us on a tour of an online shopper in China.
So Anna, you have a very cozy kitchen here, and I heard everything here you bought online.
Yeah, basically everything you can see from here. Rice cookers, like soy milk maker. I really like to make smoothie and juice by this every morning, almost. And all the cups, jars, and beans, and even the fruits, kiwi, and also the bread. Oatmeal. I bought that online.
But do you actually buy even more on Singles Day?
Sure. I want to show you and all the flowers, plants. I bought that online, and I want to show you the thing I bought last year on Singles Day. These two, the steamer and the air purifier. I bought this because I bought it on the single day because there's a big discount. Or they give me a gift, which is the air purifier for the car. So I give that for my father as a gift.
So do a lot of your friends do this as well?
Yeah. Almost all my friends, even my boss, I think.
do they actually stay up late to take advantage of the discounts?
Yeah, because the advantage of the discount will start like midnight. It's a little bit like the Black Friday.
Right.
In Thanksgiving, people shop overnight, you know.
Very nice.
That's why.
Are you single?
Yeah, I'm single.
Is that why you're doing all these shopping to treat yourself?
Yeah, that's one reason I'm pushing myself to buy more.
China's Single Shop Day begins midnight their time on November 11th. If your life plans include living in the California sunshine, you may want to rethink your major.
The West Coast has America's most expensive housing. The average list price for a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in Newport Beach is almost $2.3 million. In fact, California is home to the 9 of the 10 most expensive housing markets in America. If you're looking for an affordable home, Coldwell Banker recommends Cleveland, Ohio. A 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home there typically lists for just under $75,000.
Coming up next on Jackson State News Now, it's time for sports.
That's right, including highlights from the NBA.
And the Cowboys go 6 straight. But that's not a good thing. Sports is next.
Welcome back, Tigers. It's time now for your JSNN Sports Report.
That's right, Jordan. And we'll start off with those Missouri Tigers. The University of Missouri apparently took the threat of the football team's boycott seriously. The players said they would not be a part of any practice or game until the university system president, Tim Wolf, resigned or was removed from his position. Had Wolf not resigned, the Mizzou football team more than likely would have boycotted Saturday's game versus BYU in Kansas City, which would have cost the university millions of dollars.
It has been a very tough go for the Cowboys without Tony Romo. The Cowboys have now lost each of their last 6 games, while Romo recovers from a broken clavicle he suffered against Philadelphia back on September the 20th. And it wasn't a pretty one on Sunday either, as the Cowboys fell 33-27 in overtime to that same Eagles team. The overtime score for Philadelphia came on a 41-yard touchdown pass from Sam Bradford to Jordan Matthews. The Cowboys fall to 2-6, while the Eagles jump to 4-4.
In the NBA, Orlando took on Indiana. The Pacers have been on a roll, winning 4 of the last 5 games. With the return of number 13, Paul George, the fans got what they wanted, which was a win. George finished last night with 27 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal.
Back where they left off, Curry and the crew defected Detroit 109-95 last night. However, Stephen Curry was held to a season-low 22 points and only made 7 of his 18 attempts for a 39% shooting percentage. In addition, he had 5 assists and 5 rebounds in Golden State's win. And that's your JSNN Sports Report. Kendra?
Thank you, Jordan, for that sports report. Before we go, here's a recap of the top stories on Jackson State News Now. One person was found dead and another one in custody after an officer involved shooting on South Carolina's Spartanburg Methodist College campus Monday night. Chipotle restaurants in Washington State will reopen as early as Wednesday afternoon after an E. coli scare. Fast food workers are protesting today to fight to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour. Weather anchor Jordan Darensburg gives a final look at weather.
And yes, that weather is going to be pretty nice throughout much of the day on today and tomorrow. However, we also need to understand that Wednesday night there is a chance for some showers and storms. So for the fellows heading to the event hosted by Sigma Gamma Rho, please make sure you have your umbrellas with you. Also, there's a chance for severe weather, but that's limited up to the Delta, so we don't have to worry about severe weather. But we do have that chance for a shower and storm.
Thanks again, Jordan. I'm Kendra Brown, and thank you for watching your Jackson State News Now. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow with Brittany Williams.